What's up guys, it's Toby here and welcome to a brand new, very exciting Liverpool transfer news video, because Fabrizio Romano himself, the transfer guru, is reporting that Liverpool really like Andre, the Fluminense midfielder, and we will go in and try to sign him in January. We had very good relationship with his club Fluminense, we had very positive talks, and Fabrizio Romano said this, and I quote, "It's not over between Liverpool and Andre, it's still something that we have to keep an eye on, because Liverpool really like Andre and Andre would love to play for Liverpool, but Andre made a promise to Fluminense that he will stay until the end of the season, which is December in Brazil, and Fluminense have a historic, unique chance to win the Copa Libertadores, the South American Champions League competition. For the first time in their history, they are in the semi-finals, and Liverpool had positive conversations with Fluminense. They have a good relationships, and according to Fabrizio Romano, we will do everything in our power to try and sign Andre, and his release clause was 40 million euros, which is, I think, a decent price for one of the best midfielders coming out of the Brazilian league. But Liverpool we weren't desperate to sign Andre for that amount, because we know and we knew with having conversations, the Fluminense's president confirmed that they talked with Liverpool and they had a positive chat, but they said to Liverpool, we are not selling Andre until the end of the season unless you pay the release clause. And Andre wanted to finish this final chapter with Fluminense. He wants to see whether they can win the Copa Libertadores, and he wants to complete the season. But after that, he's very, very open, and he would love to sign for Liverpool, and he's a fantastic player. Even Fabrizio Romano confirmed that. But the Fluminense president said that he would be open for a talk to sign Andre in January, and what a brilliant boost for Liverpool that would be. And I think in January we could get him for 25 million euros, which would be an absolute bargain for a player who has a very high ceiling, very, very good potential. He's only 22 years old. He can play in a defensive midfield and a box-to-box midfield role. And in this video we will take a deep look at what Andre could bring to Liverpool and why Liverpool picked him out as the big talent coming through from Brazil. And remember, Michael Edwards, when he was at Liverpool a few years ago, he recommended Liverpool to sign Enzo Fernandez when Enzo Fernandez was still playing for River Plate, and he would have been available for around the same price as Andre is right now, for 15 to 20 million pounds. And then Enzo Fernandez went to Benfica and he cost Chelsea 100 million pounds. So imagine if Liverpool could sign an Enzo Fernandez caliber of midfielder for just 20 million pounds instead of the 50, 60 or 70 or 80 million that Andre would cost if he came to Europe, had a good couple of seasons. And Fabrizio Romano said on his podcast, Fluminense were showing how strong they are in the Brazilian and the South American market, as they said that no way the player is leaving. So credit to Fluminense. It was not easy, but Liverpool are monitoring the player. This is a special player, not an average, ordinary player in the South American League. He's very, very good. And it looks increasingly likely that Liverpool will make an attempt to sign Andre in the January transfer window. I think for 20-25 million euros, it's a no-brainer to get him, because even if he flops, you could still sell him for the same amount in 1, 2, 3 years. But watching Andre's YouTube highlights, of course, that's a very, very small window into what he can do and what kind of player he is. But you can already see that he has a brilliant passing range. He's very calm on the ball. He has passion. He's a fiery dude, and he can play in I think in Jurgen Klopp's high pressing system, because Fluminense also play a very, very unique, very high intensity tactic as well. And every time Liverpool are linked with a midfielder, one of the first things as I check is he injury prone, because we had so many injury prone players before in midfield. We don't want to sign other injury prone players. And Andre, even though he just turned 22 years old recently in mid-July, he has played 145 times for Fluminense, his only club, and he has endless energy, and he's not injury prone. He doesn't struggle with injuries. Andre is not the sort of player who is going to chip in with goals or assists. He only has 3 goals and 3 assists in 145 games. But he's a Thiago type of player, that he dictates the play from a deep, as a deep lying playmaker. And imagine if Andre and Trent Alexander-Arnold could spray passes to the forwards. They could, complement each other very, very well. And that's not an issue. Liverpool need more of a holding midfielder than an attacking midfielder, because Liverpool already have an abundance of great attacking midfielders. McAllister, Szoboszlai, even Gravenberch can play that box-to-box role. Harvey Elliott, Curtis Jones, they are all better going forward than defending. Andre's primary role at Liverpool would be to break up opposition attacks, to quickly move the ball up the pitch, 2 things that he is very good at. Andre has been averaging 2.1 tackles per 90 minutes and 1.5 interceptions as well, which is actually better than Fabinho's 1.8 tackles per 90 minutes and 1 interception per 90 last season in Liverpool's midfield. Of course, last season Fabinho didn't have his best season, and I'm putting it very kindly to Fabinho, but to see Andre already at 22 years old is better than Fabinho was last season is great to see. And also Fabinho ranks top for both passes per game and pass success rate. He has completed 75 passes per game on average, and he has a pass success rate of almost 94% in the Brazilian top flight this season. And the Brazilian league is a pretty strong league. There are a lot of really good competitive teams there. In mid-July, Andre was linked with a lot of clubs. Fulham were leading the chasing pack, but Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, Arsenal, Tottenham and West Ham were all interested in Andre, but probably nobody wanted to pay his 40 million euro release clause. But I think the fact that the Fluminense president confirmed that Liverpool talked with them exclusively, which means that probably Liverpool are the closest to be able to sit down and negotiate a January transfer with Fluminense. And I would go there early. I would go in December and sit down with Fluminense and ask to get a transfer deal done for January 1st, so he can join Liverpool as soon as possible. Plus, it prevents other clubs going in for him. And the Fluminense president pretty much confirmed that they would right now even negotiate a pre-contract agreement with Liverpool for a January transfer. All they wanted is to keep Andre until December, until the Brazilian season is finished and until the Copa Libertadores tournament is over. ESPN have claimed that Fluminense will be much more open to a sale after the season. I think a good strategy for Liverpool would be to wait until December, because we have to see how Endo adapts to the Premier League. That's an unknown quantity. We have to see how Gravenberch starts his career at Liverpool, and also we have to see what kind of position Gravenberch will play in this Liverpool team. It will be very, very interesting. I think Liverpool will rotate McAllister, Gravenberch and Endo in that holding midfielder spot, and whoever is performing the best to their abilities, whoever is performing the best in that role will probably be our starting player in the Premier League. Gravenberch is still very young, he's a long-term project, so he might not be as good right now as he can become. But remember, Wijnaldum was a similarly attack-minded midfielder. When he came to Liverpool, he scored loads of goals for Feyenoord, for PSV Eindhoven, for Newcastle before coming to Liverpool, and then Jurgen Klopp converted him pretty much to a holding midfielder with bags of energy running up and down the pitch. He was a box-to-box midfielder, but Wijnaldum was never an attacking midfielder in the typical sense at Liverpool. And Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp could do something similar with Ryan Gravenberch as well. He's not an out-and-out defensive midfielder, but Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp can mold him into one. And I think the way Liverpool will see how these players develop and perform up until December will make the decision on Andre easier. But also, it's very, very difficult to say what kind of position Andre would be at Liverpool. Probably a holding defensive midfielder, but not maybe a destroyer like Fabinho, more like an architect or Thiago type of player, because Fluminense has one of the most unique tactics in South American football, and also the South American League tactically is very unique as well. A lot of different teams play a lot of different tactical setups, formations, tactical styles, so it wouldn't translate well to the Premier League, those kind of tactical setups. And Andre probably coming in January, he wouldn't be under pressure to start straight away, and Jurgen Klopp can work with him on the training ground and just figure out what is his skill set and where exactly would he fit into Liverpool's tactical setup. Graham Souness also said that he has doubts about whether Endo will be able to cope with the intensity of the Premier League. Graham Souness said, "I like Szoboszlai a lot and I'm a big fan of McAllister as well. With Endo, we will wait and see. Getting good reviews playing in the Bundesliga doesn't mean you will be a success in the Premier League, which is very demanding. The intensity is greater than anywhere, and let's see how Endo deals with that." The fact Liverpool offered over £100 million for Caicedo tells you that Jurgen Klopp sees that area as it needs strengthening. The way I see Liverpool right now is they have enough goals in the team, the defense is more than good enough, the keeper is more than good enough, but the blend he's going to have to use in midfield is not quite right. I would like to see them get another central defender, as Matip can't keep himself fit, and another central midfielder. Endo, with the money they paid, would suggest he is a good squad player. And yeah, Liverpool don't have an outstanding defensive midfielder right now, that's true, but we have loads of players who can play there. We have even McAllister can play the number 6 role. Of course that's not his best position, so maybe exclude him from that, but we have Endo, Bajcetic, Thiago, Gravenberch and Trent Alexander-Arnold in this new setup. So there are 4 or 5 players who are able to play that defensive midfield role. But I think it would work against a lot of teams what Liverpool did against Aston Villa, that we had 3 midfielders plus Trent Alexander-Arnold slotting into midfield, and all of the midfielders were playing in this box midfield where sometimes you have to do different roles. Yes, mainly McAllister and Trent were in that defensive midfield role, but sometimes when they venture forward, other players slot in and cover for them. And I think the way Liverpool signed a lot of players who can play multiple positions in midfield suggests to me that they want to have a hybrid and fluid formation and a fluid style of play, especially in midfield. Szoboszlai has been our best player and he has had a very good Bundesliga career, so he hasn't struggled to adapt to the Premier League, but Szoboszlai is on another level. Endo, of course, is not the same caliber of player, but I think we shouldn't judge Endo too harshly. We should wait until December, January, so he gets up to speed with the way Liverpool play. Also, it's a very unique tactical setup. Nobody really in the Bundesliga plays like Liverpool play in the Premier League. And also, Endo was absolutely brilliant against Germany, a very, very good side away from home. He was Japan's best midfielder, so Endo definitely is good enough to play for Liverpool. Maybe not every week as the starting 11 player, but we can definitely use Endo in a defensive midfield role, and he will be, I think, very, very good for Liverpool. Just give him time and he will come good. And Liverpool signing McAllister, Szoboszlai and Gravenberch means that now they have technically superior midfielders to those who left. I mean, compare these 3 midfielders to Milner, Henderson and Naby Keita. It's night and day of an upgrade, and this means that Liverpool, rather than separating the midfield into rigid roles, Liverpool can get all of the outputs they need, such as winning duels, stopping counterattacks, progressing the ball in a variety of ways through multiple players. A great example of this was the recent win against Aston Villa. Both McAllister and Curtis Jones were trialed in pre-season to play in the number 6 role, and Szoboszlai was used as a number 6 in the games where we had a player sent off, and even he played there for Hungary in some games. And Liverpool had a weird 4-2-4 shape with Szoboszlai and McAllister in midfield, and Curtis Jones was playing on the left side, Salah on the right, Nunez and Diaz were playing further forward. But there were multiple instances where McAllister and Trent-Alexander-Arnold were in the holding midfield role, and then sometimes Szoboszlai dropped deep there, sometimes Curtis Jones dropped deep there, sometimes both Szoboszlai and McAllister dropped deep, get the ball. Against the ball, Liverpool made 7 high regains in the first half of the Aston Villa game, winning the ball in Aston Villa's defensive third. Liverpool have only done better than this in 4 halves of football since 2018 and 19, which is a truly exceptional high pressing performance from Liverpool against Aston Villa, and I really hope that we can keep this up and continue with this really effective tactic. Also, Fabrizio Romano is reporting that Liverpool are now advancing in talks to extend Kostas Tsimikas' contract, which is a little bit surprising to me because Tsimikas was rumored to be leaving Liverpool maybe last summer, even the summer before there were rumors, because he's the second choice. But Tsimikas, I think, is a really good option to have in the squad. He will play a lot more games this season with the Europa League, the League Cup, and sometimes in the Premier League when Robertson is tired or injured or suspended. But maybe Liverpool want to extend his contract to 2027, maybe to protect his value as well. If Liverpool indeed decide to sell Tsimikas, then we can actually ask for a decent amount of money for him. And Tsimikas is happier to stay at Liverpool and to play as a bit part player than to go to a mid-table club and be a first choice there, because with Liverpool he has the chance to win big titles, big trophies still. So I'm happy that Tsimikas is staying at Liverpool, it looks like. And thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Have a nice day. See you later. Goodbye.